the final part, we've talked about that, and we talk about grounds again a bit more. But now you've made all-weather horse racing and greyhounds pay using mathematics. So to me, that must prove that, contrary to common belief, both codes must be largely straight. Would you agree with
that? I think as a punter, you have to assume it is. You have to assume. I don't have any real evidence to suggest it isn't. I actually have quite a lot of faith that it isn't. I'm sure there are instances, but as a punter, you have to assume it's straight. Now, I might back a dog and see it drift like a barge on Betfair, and it run like a drain. Well, perhaps that dog was lame, and there's always going to be stuff I don't know, but I think these things even out as well. So you have to assume it's straight, Simon.
So would you go in again though? Would you have the confidence to go in again if you saw that happening? You made it a 3-to-1 chance. It was out to 5.
Do. Yeah, I do sometimes, and they don't always lose. It's often you don't know, do you? I mean, it might be the dog's lame. It might be that the market's wrong. I think you have to. If you believe you've got an edge and you think you know something that no one else does and it drifts, you have to have the confidence to go in again. But sometimes you get your fingers burnt.
I mean, in the early days of the machine, as we like to call it, there would have been plenty of inexperienced punters that might have self-perpetuated that drift by assuming it's not going to win today and laying it. I mean, that sort of money's not there anymore, is it?
No, I don't think so.
So interested in this, you told me that you think the psychology of betting is the biggest challenge people face. I mean, you've touched on it a bit before, but can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, I think it can really play in your mind. And whilst I say, I know I'm going to get losing runs, I'm not pretending that it doesn't affect me. And I just think that I just feel that punters need to work on that as much as, if not more than, the number crunching or the form study, because I just feel that's where a lot of people go wrong. I think I see punters who have a bad run and then jack it in. Again, it's not understanding that probability theory. It doesn't work. Well, you need many months of, if not years of data to know that. And I think you just have to trust the system and just work on that psychology. It's tough, and I think you need to be a certain character. I've struggled with it. I have struggled with it in terms of, I think that's been my biggest challenge as a punter. I think the other side I'm very good at, and but it's just dealing with that side that is so important. And I think there's books on it. You can see people. I think there's some kind of psychiatrist who helps people who do betting. It's all there. So I think it's an area that people perhaps don't think about enough.
I've had discussions about this before, and staking. I mean, to me, staking is the most important factor of anybody's betting. Because if you have it all on one, you made a certain team, it gets beat. You've done your money, haven't you? So, I mean, what are your opinions on staking, and how important do you make it?
Well, funnily enough, I've lost my I used to think that as well, but I'm not so sure now. I think I used to. I remember about a year ago, I set up all the Kelly criterion, staking. The theory where you stake according to the chance you have, and so if your edge is a lot bigger, you have more money on, and the theory is that you then you get more margin from that as a marginal gain. And I created great tables, and I used to be there looking, and it took me ages, and I thought. So I have quite a bit more relaxed view about staking now, because I think the using something like that I do use it, but I use it kind of just in my head. So I'm not going to go to the nth degree in terms of, I should have £187.25 on that. I'll work based on sort of round figures. So if I think a dog's an even money shot and I can get 4 to 1, then I'll probably have a big lot bigger bet on it than if it was, say, 6 to 4. So I do staking, but I don't go to the nth degree with it. Now, I do think, Simon, that your example, that to me is obviously very sensible. You don't have 10 quid on each race and then 500 quid on the last race. It's not a good idea. But I think I don't worry too much about staking. I just keep it sensible.
Okay, well, I'm going to go a bit more into the staking. So you don't have to tell us a figure, but I mean, if this, for example, you're having £100 on average per bet, what sort of betting bank would you have, or do you not even have a betting bank? You just put it up at your trousers.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I would. From my experience, I know that. Well, put it this way: I feel comfortable having 2% of my betting bank on a race, and that rate, I might have. I'll probably have bet more than one dog in a race. Potentially, I could have 3. So I look at it. I look at the liability by race rather than by dog. So I'd say 2% of my betting bank, and that gives me a lot of comfort that I'm not going to lose it.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to these horses again in a minute. You've still bet to, you say 5% on horses at Southwell. Is that because the Greyhound racing is more interesting to you and you found the mathematics works better? And if your edge went on the Greyhounds, do you think you could go back to Southwell and make it pay?
I would make it pay because there's not enough churn for me. If they raced every day, I would, but they don't, unfortunately. So no, it's just I can get the churn with the Greyhounds, and I think my margin's a lot higher as well. I think I think about 3 years ago at Southwell, I had a brilliant winter. I did really well, and then it seemed to catch up with me a bit, and I just don't make enough percentage, and there's not enough churn. So no, I wouldn't. If Greyhound racing stopped, then I'd that'll be it. I'd pack the game up. Well, I'd still bet at Southwell, but I'd probably do more of my other work.
You don't think you could use your mathematical skills to sort of beat the football coupons, and not the pools, but the
thing is, Simon, this is the Greyhound racing thing's taken me years to do. Years. Now, at my age, how am I going to beat the Lizard? I'm never going to beat him. I can't win. I like football. I've not had a bet on football for probably 5 years. Because I know I can't win. It's that discipline. I can't see the point in it. I don't know enough about it. I'm a fan, but I can't win. So no, I can't take on the likes of Tony Bloom. No chance. So I can't see the point.
Okay, so this is going to be the final question, a nice easy one for you. How do you succeed as a punter?
Okay. The boring one's specialising. I would say the other areas I would say are, I think one of the most important things is to run it like a business. So, for example, Simon, I would say, and I do this, I know how much money I need to make every month from doing it. So that means, and I know what kind of percentage margin I'm likely to make on an average month. So on that basis, if I know how many races I can cover a month, then I can then know how much stake I have to put on. So effectively, you're creating a budget like you would for any business. So that's my P&L, if you like. So it's telling me what I need to do, my budgeted P&L, and I compare it to actual. So, and what you need to do is get to the point, like I said, you don't want to worry if you're winning or losing, because I think if you're there, you're doing okay. I actually worry about getting enough turnover in my business, because I know I'll make the margin. So I need to make the turnover. So I need to do enough work to and get enough bets on to do that. So that's quite important. What else? I think you need to. I think you need to realise what your strengths and weaknesses are. I think that's very important. You know, many years ago, I pretended I could. Well, I tried anyway to paddock watch at the horse racing, and I haven't got a clue. You know, you've got to know what you're good at. You know, I'm very much a numbers man. I'm not subjective at all, and I know I'm good at that. I'm not. If I had to handicap at, say, horse racing at Newmarket or Doncaster or any of those tracks on turf, I would lose, because I'm not. It's not me. I can't do it. It's my brain doesn't work in a way to let me win. I can't. I probably wouldn't win if I did football or cricket. It's when I have to have those subjective views. I'm not as good. So I know what I'm good at. So people need to know what they are good at and focus on that. Know themselves.
Okay, so I should have said the penultimate question, the final one, which hopefully is not going to be too much of a downer. Is your betting medium of greyhounds still going to be even existing in a decade's time, 5 years' time?
I think so. Yeah. I think the sport's made a lot of progress. I've been very impressed with a lot of the things the GB have done. I think. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of talk on social media about the bookmakers and controlling the sport. I mean, from a purely selfish perspective, you know, that's the stuff I do anyway. So I'm not sure that's good for the sport necessarily, but for me personally, it's fine. I sense that, as I said earlier, I think we, you know, this is a sport that's quick turnover, and I think if it's marketed properly, I think it'll be fine. The welfare thing's coming right, and a lot of work to do, obviously, but that's really encouraging. I think we'll have less tracks, but I do think as long as we can keep the next generation interested, I think I'm very positive, Simon. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, on that note, Rupert Hawke, thank you very much.
Cheers, Simon.